Blood, this situation here is crazy, fam, but it's not completely uncommon. I've seen it a few times. I know a couple idiots that have been in that situation as well. So basically, a man saying that his dad lives with him, he ain't got no money, so he'd rather take advice from someone with their head screwed on. This is the epitome of not having your shit together. This is the epitome of being a joke, man. Parents are supposed to look after their children, grow them up, and then they fly the nest, and that's it. Worst case scenario. The child who's not a child, but 20, 30 years old, they fall on hard times. Worst case scenario, they go and live with mum and dad. But sometimes the parent has to go and live with the child who's obviously a big person, 20, 30, 40 years old and that. You're on a jolt thing. You are on a jolt thing, blood. Literally, I know a couple people, and I've seen it on these jobs. I remember one time, I went to one tenant's house, phoned up the number, no answer. I had to still go there and knock. So anyway, boom, knocked on the door. One black man's answered the door, 55 years old. I said to him, yeah, I explained who I was and that. He said, yeah, come, you can come and do the test. He did remember his son was saying something about it last week. Boom. So anyway, he said, look, I'm going to be in the living room. It's a studio flat as well. So there's no bedroom. It's a living room, combined bedroom, yeah? He said, listen, I'm going to be in the living room. It's my son's flat, but yeah, you can just do what you need to do. Just knock the door if you need to come in the living room and that. I think to myself, why the fuck are you staying at your son's house? Why are you staying at your son's house, blood? I remember one time when I was working for Homes to Haringey, right near Seven Sisters Station, I went to a man's house, and this is even worse. So, if you thought it was bad, a man going to stay at his son's house is 10 times worse when a father has to go and stay at his daughter's house, blood. How embarrassing is that? But I don't know, what's worse? No. The dad living at the daughter's house is worse than, I know a man, and God forbid I was in this situation. So let me just tell you my family setup. So obviously mum, stepdad, whatever, in it, boom. I'm the oldest child in my family. I'm 31. My little brother's 24 right now. I got a little sister. She's how old is she? 11 or 12, one of the two. Anyway, imagine, yeah, my sister being a big girl now. She's all 21, 25 and that. Imagine I fall on hard times. Imagine I have to go and stay at my sister's house. You know, I know a man who had to go and stay at his little sister's house. Imagine that. That's an idiot thing. I've actually got a sister as well who's the same age as me. She's just 6 weeks younger than me. Obviously, my dad was, get me, about spreading his thing and that. I've got a sister, she's 6 weeks younger than me. I would even want to go and stay at my sister's house. Yeah, let alone, imagine my little sister who's 11 or 12 years old. I can't remember. I think she's 12 years old. Imagine me going to stay at my little sister's house where she's 21 years old. A big brother sleeping on the sofa and that. That's some jolting, blood. Anyway, this guy that I know, who's in his 40s at the time, he was staying at his little sister's house. She's in her 30s and that. Can you imagine the audacity of this guy? Obviously, she might be a little bit timid of him or whatever, innit? But she plucked up the courage to say, listen, I need you to leave this house. You know, you're taking up too much space. You're not even working and that. He said, listen, I'm not leaving this fucking house unless you call the police and that. I'm like, raw. That's how man's taking them levels. Like, he's saying, like, listen, you're going to have to get the police involved in it. And she's the type, she's not going to want to call the police and that. So basically, I don't even know how long my man was there for, but he's not living there now. But I was thinking to myself, you're a waste, man. The fact that you're even threatening your sister, how are you threatening your sister in her own yard and she's taking your bum ass, broke ass, homeless ass self in? Come on, man. It's a refuge centre and that. God forbid I was in the position where I need to go and stay at my child's house or my little sister's yard. I wouldn't expect them to respect me. They're supposed to look to me. Even my mum. Obviously, I'm so far ahead. I've got my shit together and that. This is why I love that I got my thing patterned up. If anything happened to my mum or my little sister, because my stepdad and my brother, they're big men, yo, you're on your own and that. But me, I've got a duty to look after the females in my family. If anything happened to my mum or my little sister, there's somewhere for them to live. They don't even need to come to my house. I could put them up in one of my properties. Now, obviously, my properties are occupied at the moment, but let's just pretend one was empty. Imagine the yard my mum's house, they burned down in Edmonton. I could bring them up here and let them go and stay at one of my flats as like a safe house. I wouldn't even need to bring them to my 3-bed house. I've got space for them here. I wouldn't even need to bring them here. My little sister, obviously, she's a child and that she's, like I say, 11 or 12, I can't even remember. She don't need to worry about nothing. Obviously, she don't understand like what I'm really on and that. But trust me, this little girl, yeah, she has a safety net. My little sister, anytime she's in any trouble, she could just come. Call big brother, she can come. There's always a place to stay. There's a house to stay. There's a flat to stay. My sister always have a roof over her head. And that's the way you got to pattern your things up, man. Your little siblings should be able to rely on you. You shouldn't have... You shouldn't have to be relying on your children. Like, even when I hear about these parents and having to borrow £1,000 or £500 from their son or their daughter, bro, why are you relying? Bro, you should be patterned. So, you get me? You should be giving your children 10 grand, 20 grand. You should be in that position. And trust me, man, I used to sit and listen to my girl's mortgage calls and that. And she would say to them, so how much you got for a deposit? They'll say like 25 grand and that. And she'll say, is it all yours? Oh, no, 20,000 of it has been gifted. Who's it from? Mum and dad. This is how these people got this thing patterned up. That's how it's supposed to be. As a parent, you should be able to gift your child 20 grand or gift them a property. I don't even have no children at this moment in time. But literally, if I had a son and I had a daughter, they both got 1 flat each right now. Literally. In a couple of months' time, the situation I'm going to be is where if I had a son and a daughter, I could actually house them opposite each other in separate flats because I'm buying a flat that's opposite my flat. So imagine one lives at number 10 and the other one lives at number 11. Opposite each other because of dad's hard work, hard grind, dad's sacrifice. That's the situation. That's the sort of situation you want to be in, man, as a man. You don't want to be relying on your kids. You don't want to be relying on your sister or your younger sister to house you, and you don't want to be staying at your younger sister's house and that, man. Anyway, man, that's it for today, man. Stay away. Done, man.